Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. And in this week's local news, a bomb threat at Oxford High School and first-degree murder charges still pending for an Oxford mother.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. With a sigh of relief, a bomb threat against the Oxford School District led to an all-night search of every school in the district by the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, and no bomb was found. The threat was made through an email to School Deputy Superintendent Tim Throne, which resulted in a search led by bomb-sniffing canines. Police feel it was an empty threat, but all communications of this type are taken very seriously. Officers feel that they will catch the person responsible and that that person will be prosecuted.
65-year-old resident Sylvia Majewska stands accused of killing her Oxford son and 7-month-old granddaughter, but will first have to undergo treatment at a state mental facility before she can be tried for the double murders. Last week, a court ruled her incompetent to stand trial pending the additional psychiatric treatment and evaluation. According to reports, she is unable to understand the seriousness of the crime, nor is she capable of communicating with her attorney for her defense. After treatment, Majewska will be returned to another competency hearing in mid-May to determine if she will stand trial on the charges.
35-year-old Siobhan Wesley is accused of embezzling over $250,000 from CamLogic in Oxford. Wesley recently turned herself over to the police and is currently in jail in lieu of $50,000 bond. According to reports, Wesley was a trusted office manager employed by the 3D graphic engineering firm since 2010. If convicted, Wesley could spend up to 14 years in prison for the felony.
An Oxford woman spied a man near her home and called police. The officers were able to locate the man, who turned out to be the meter reader, not a peeping Tom.
And another car was stolen this week right from downtown parking lot. The owners told officers he left the unlocked car running with the keys in the ignition. He was hoping to keep his car warm while inside the business. Police are still looking for the car.
Underage drinking was the unfortunate game this week for both the owners of a downtown business and the youth that were seen drinking there. The business was cited for the underage participation, and village police are making it even harder for the youths to participate.
Because of frigid temperatures, an Oxford man reported that around 20 dogs were kept outside on Lincoln Street, and police were unable to contact the owners, but found the dogs were equipped with straw and heat lamps to protect the animals from the cold.
The Chinese Weiming project is one step closer to becoming a reality. The school board approved a 20-year contract to allow admittance of up to 200 international Chinese high school students to attend Oxford High School classes. The Weiming Education Group will plan to build a $6 million dormitory to house their students on a piece of property not belonging to the school district, located southwest of the high school. Prior to the vote, several residents voiced their opposition to the plan. Oxford Lakes subdivision resident Charlie Stevens voiced his concern over, among other things, the length and resources surrounding the agreement. In spite of the residents' concerns, the board voted 5-1 in favor of the agreement. The dissenting vote was made by Joyce Brasington.
James Sargent Jr., director of local chapter of the Oxford American Legion 108 Riders Motorcycle Club, wants to make sure that every kid gets a chance to experience those feelings of complete freedom and joy that comes from riding their very own bike. The program is called Bikers Giving Bikes. Currently, the organization has collected about 24 bikes of all sizes. For more information, call the American Legion Post 108 at 248-628-9081. Well, what's going on this week, Terry?
Bravo for them. Everybody needs a bike when they're young. Glad to hear that those dogs were nice and warm. I heard some dogs last night about 10:30, 11 o'clock outside barking and barking and barking. It's just amazing to me that people leave their animals outside when it's this cold. Minus 22 this morning when I got up. But at least these dogs had warm or with straw. I don't know how warm that is, but straw to keep them warm. But why 20 dogs in a village home or village yard in the first place?
Oh, I've heard of 200 cats in a home, but actually it's not inside the home, it's
unless
outside.
Unless they have a
but-
kennels license right in the village. Oh, of course, that's Lincoln Street. That's where the vet is.
Well, people seem to, for some reason or another, have a tendency to abuse their pets this time of the year.
Yeah, they
It's
just
not a
don't
good
get
thing.
it. They don't get it.
I just saw on the news too the other day, and you know, coming over the wire, where these horses were neglected also,
Yeah.
and one of them actually died. You folks, if you have animals, you know, this cold weather really takes its toll. Make sure you take care of those little critters. They're really relying on you.
They're cold too. Speaking of taking care of, I can't let this drop. As you know, Bill and I went out to speak to some people in Addison Township about the NODA issue. A Brandon resident as well as an Addison Township resident called or let us know that they weren't happy that we didn't tell the other side of that story, which I would be more than happy to. The other side is the no vote or the people that choose not to vote for NODA. I was merely telling why that story is, why the NODA millage question is back on the ballot. I would be way more than happy if somebody that has an opposition vote come and chat with me. It's not against FCC rules because it's not a bipartisan issue, that I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody that doesn't want NODA to come out to Addison Township. So I'm just putting that offer out there. Please come and talk to me. It's your television station. Let's make your opinions known as well. And to the Brandon resident and the Edison resident, thanks for watching us. I love that.
Yes, that's terrific.
So that's my complaint this week. It's not really a complaint. I really appreciate the fact that people are watching.
We're always interested in, of course, all kinds of views, regardless positive, negative, however you
Right.
think. We certainly have the ability to present our position the way we feel about it as well, but we'd like to hear more from you folks out there, as Terry said.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. It's your television station. And that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, go to your local grocery store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, watch us right here on OCTV.
And coming up next on OCTV, tune in for Oxford Local Sports, then catch Oxford School News with John Ochins. After that, join us with Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kinney.
I'm Terry Stiles, and this is Oxford News This Week, where your news is closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching. Hello, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And yes, we're back again to ask that you check out our favorite but controversial program, Minutes by Minute. Together, Dave and I review what local Oxford and Addison politicians and appointed representatives are doing to make your life happy or miserable by passing laws, ordinances, and regulations that affect you.
Oh, we know that political news could be, shall we say, boring. But, however, Elgin and I think we have a solution for that boredom. We have found hidden within those seemingly serious political decisions, humor. We just turn it over and there it is, our old friend humor. Since we have lots of funny material to work from, we find that it's easy to provide a humorous outlook on practically every political issue, and some not quite so political.
If you don't believe Dave, just catch us Monday through Friday, time schedule 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10:30 p.m. on Charter 199 and AT&T UVerse 99. Or go to our webpage, occtv.org, and click on programs. You can also find us on Oxford Community Television, YouTube. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny. Catch us every week on Minutes by Minutes.
We'll be watching for you.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, well, divine or not, Pope Francis has good sources. A day after he called married couples selfish for not having children, it emerged that Italians gave birth to fewer babies last year than at any time since the formation of the state in 1861. In 2014, there were just 509,000 live births, while deaths were 17% higher at 597,000, leading the health minister, Beatrice Lorenzen, to warn that we are very close to the threshold of non-renewal. We are a dying country. Press reports of the announcement from ISTAT, the National Statistics Office, blame the new low on the poor state of the Italian economy, which has been shrinking for 3 years now. In fact, Italy's fertility rate, an estimate of how many children an average woman is likely to have, is much lower than the replacement level. Just over 2 children per woman will maintain a population in the long term, but the current rate in Italy is only 1.39 children per woman. And this is no blip. Italian fertility has been below replacement levels since 1976. In half a century, Italy has gone from being a young, fertile nation with its plazas full of bambini to one of the world's least fertile and the second oldest after Japan. Its median age is 44.5 years. The only good news is that while last year represented a slight dip and the lowest absolute number of live births, the fertility rate is actually recovering from a low point of 1.19 in 1995, according to ISTAT. Why the low fertility? Well, some psychologists, or sociologists that is, point to a macho society that makes it hard for women to both work and bear children, and most choose the former. Others point to a suffocating closeness of Italian families that means that people in their 20s, especially men, failing to fly the nest. Gianpiero Dalla Suana of the University of Padua says, in Italy, people love children too much. The paradox is, as too much family leads to too few children. But while Italy has the lowest fertility rate in Western Europe, it is far from alone. According to current estimates, fellow economic struggler Greece stands at 1.41 children per woman, while Germany is at 1.43 and Spain at 1.48. Much of Eastern Europe is around 1.3, and in East Asia, Japan is at 1.4, South Korea at 1.25, and Singapore at 0.8. This is below replacement fertility trend is leading demographers such as Wolfgang Lutz of the Vienna Institute of Demography in Austria to conclude that world population could be on track to decline by late this century. The only reason Italy's population is not already falling is the arrival of migrants. The country had a net inflow of more than 200,000 people last year. Most migrants are young and they keep up numbers counter the country's aging population and bolster fertility. Without them, Italy's fertility rate would be only 1.29, according to ISTAT. In our next story, well, we've all got sentimental knickknacks from our holidays bundled away in forgotten cupboards, but this is something else. Last week, the U.S. National Air and Space Museum revealed it had been given a bag of souvenirs brought back from the moon by astronaut Neil Armstrong. It now has placed some of the items on display. The lunar keepsakes, which include a 16mm film camera used to document Armstrong's one small step in 1969, were uncovered by Carol Armstrong, his widow. She found the bag while cleaning out a closet after his death in 2012. She handed them over to the museum in June of 2013, which kept them secret while documenting the items. Armstrong also kept a variety of cables plus a tether he had used to support his feet while resting on the moon. As far as we know, Neil has never discussed the existence of these items and no one else has seen them in the 45 years since he returned from the moon, says curator Alan Needle in a blog post about the find. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back after this.
You're watching OCTV, Daniel Oxford Tech 10.
And welcome back to Oxford News this week. Time for Oxford Sports. The Lady Wildcats dominating the OAA White Division in court with a record of 7-0 in the league and an overall record of 13-4 after securing 2 more wins this past week. Oxford served notice to the OAA White that the race for the divisional title runs through Oxford. Wildcats defeated Bloomfield Hills by a score of 79-46. The Wildcats outscored Bloomfield in each of the 4 quarters, but didn't pull comfortably away until deep in the third. Bloomfield was kept in the game by their leading scorer, Amanda Moss, with 26 points. However, it was the tandem team of Jessica Murphy and Sky Donaldson that led the way for Oxford. Murphy scored a game high of 30 points, went 17 from 17 on the line, pulled down 8 rebounds, had 5 assists while eclipsing 1,000 points in her high school career. Donaldson contributed her first double, scoring 16 points, pulling down 11 rebounds. Later in the week, the girls continued their domination as they defeated the Avondale Yellow Jackets 52-29. Oxford was led by Jessica Murphy, again 28 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Second lead scorer for the Wildcats was Christina Medici with 8 points, and the Wildcats will go on the road against Troy. We'll have the results on next week's broadcast. Next out for the boys Oxford Holly ski team, or it should be the Holly Oxford ski team. That's the tandem team. State finals will take place at Boyne Mountain on February 23rd. The boys won every race within their division. After becoming division champs, they went on to win regionals. Sink, the coach, believes the boys winning every race in their division is what actually helped at the regionals. As for the girls, they went on 5-2 in their division, and their only loss was against Grand Blanc. The girls' team is very young, having 3 freshmen, a sophomore on it. At the regional meet, the girls skied well and finished 6th overall. In the final dual meet of the season, the Wildcats swimmers got sunk crossover match with the Lake Orion Dragons, 190-124. A list of their accomplishments in this week's Oxford Leader. Check it out. The league meets underway on February 25th and 27th. They'll take place in the natatorium. The Wildcats of Oxford traveled to Hartfield Lanes. That's, of course, in Berkeley to bowl against the Birmingham United team. That was Wednesday, February 11th. The Wildcats had a good afternoon of bowling. The Lady Cats rolled to a 27-3 victory after winning both Baker games. The Oxford girls bowled games at 870 and 884 in Birmingham, 776 to 835 to close out the match. Top honors of the day went to Alicia Hurlbut, and games 210 and 224. A.B. Pappas tossed a nice 196. Hannah Farmer rolled in 200. The girls' record now stands at 6-1 on the season, tied with Lake Orion for the top spot in the OAA Red Division. On Thursday, February 19th, the Wildcats will face with Lake Orion Dragons at the OAA White title on the line. The match will be held locally here at Collier Lanes. The boys also came away with a victory, 19-11. It was as easy as the victory nonetheless, but it wasn't an easy victory. After splitting Baker games with Birmingham, the team Wildcats rolled to a 10-72 game to Birmingham's 9-62. Game 2, the match went right down to the last frame before Oxford pulled out a narrow 897 to 874 victory. Drew Pappas was a strong bowler, 266. Again, Jake DeLong tossed in 215 and 200. Luke DeLong had 211. Brady Winecoop threw a 224. This moves the Wildcats to 9-1, the record alone on top of the OAA Red Division. They will wrap up their match and season play Thursday against the Lake Orion Dragons. Again, that contest takes place at Collier Lanes. You can catch all the sports right here on OCTV on the weekends, 1 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday. Make sure to check it out. If you don't catch it there, dial up our website on our webpage at OCCTV.org. Hit the Programs tab or hit the Peg Central tab, and you'll find most of our programs right there. I want to do a special shout out for someone who watches us on a regular basis on ATT Uverse. I want to say hi to Hector Familiera. He was a Mr. Basketball Michigan and actually chimed in to say that he catches Oxford sports and enjoys all the programming we have here on OCTV. Hey, good to hear that. Thanks, Hector. Take care of yourself. Till we see you again, we'll see you next week, everybody.
Welcome to still another segment of the news that we call your weekly calendar of events, where we feature your weekly calendar of local Oxford and Addison community events, including charity special fundraisers and general community information. Now, if your organization would like help to get your message out to the public, contact us for detailed information at our studio phone number at 248-628-9658 or go to our website at OCCTV.org. Applications are still available for Oxford High School juniors who want to spend some of their summer vacation exploring what it's like to be the public official who makes the laws and police officers who enforce them. For boys and state girls and student trooper programs, just pick up the necessary forms at your Oxford High School counseling office. This program is brought to you by the local Oxford American Legion Post 108. Oxford Township Parks and Recreation is selling $10 discount cards to benefit the Oxford High School Senior All-Night Party. Please stop into the Parks and Recreation office located on Burdick Street in Oxford. Show your support and receive great discounts for 2015. Adopt a pet. Pet Dog Adoption Day is held every second Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Pet Stuff Harvest Time in Oxford, corner of Drainer Road and M24. If you would like a loving, furry little pet for your family, Canine Rescue may just have the little buddy for you. Just check out the Canine Stray Rescue League's website and view pictures of pets for adoption. Go to www.dogsaver.org. Bikers Giving Bikes. If you have a bicycle and no longer need or have outgrown, why not donate it to the Oxford American Legion program, Bikers Giving Bikes? Or if you have a child who would like a bike but you just can't afford to purchase one, Bikers Giving Bikes have refurbished bikes of all sizes. For more information, contact Mr. Sargent at 248-628-9081 at the American Legion building in Oxford. Saturday, February 28th, 5 p.m., the Boulder Point Golf Club and Banquet Center will host a bridal vendor show. The event will include premium vendors with a wide selection of products and services for your special day. For more information about the event or how your business could qualify to be included, call 248-969-1500, extension 250. Craft Exchange Saturday, March 7th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Oxford Public Library. Exchange your craft supplies and craft books with others. Drop off gently used items at the Adult Service Desk between February 18th and March 4th. For each item dropped off, you will get tickets based on the item's condition. On the day of exchange, use your tickets to shop. For more information, call 248-628-3034. Now, if you are a business interested in joining the Oxford Chamber of Commerce and would like more information about what the Chamber can do for you and your community, their office is located on Burdick Street in the Office of Public Works building. If you represent an organization wishing to show your support for our local Oxford School of Sports, music, concerts, or any of the many programs broadcast by our TV station, you could become a sponsor and underwriter for OCTV. A promotional television spot would be created and recognition would be given to you by our sports announcers during the event. It's easy and it's quite inexpensive. For more information, contact our TV station manager, Bill Service, at 248-628-9658, or you can send a message of interest to Bill's email address, manager@occtv.org. Now, we at Oxford Community TV would like our television viewing public to learn more about your club or organization, special upcoming event, or charity. So if you would like to get your special event mentioned on our television show, call us at 248-628-9658, or just go to our website, again, at occtv.org. Just one final reminder, you can locate our OCTV program schedule by going to our website, occtv.org, and clicking on Schedule. There you will find a list of OCTV broadcast programs, dates, and times. One program I recommend is Bill Service, who always has interesting local stories and interviews on our Community Access program. Just check it out. This is Oxford Community Television, OCTV. I'm your host, Elgin Nichols. We invite you to join us again for the next segment of your weekly calendar of events.
You're watching OCTV.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Chevrolet will give the Equinox a facelift this fall for the 2016 model year, the first cosmetic upgrade to the popular crossover in 6 years. The refreshed Equinox features a revised front fascia and a deeper, wider grille outlined in chrome and retaining the twin-port look of the current model. New light-emitting diode daytime running lamps and fog lamps were added to upper trim levels. Chevrolet has streamlined the model lineup, which now includes LS, LT, and LTZ trims, eliminating the 1LT and 2LT packages. The interior gets a larger Chevrolet MyLink touchscreen and new safety features, including available side blind zone alert. A rear camera will come standard on all models. Chevrolet is counting on the refreshed model to extend the Equinox's 5-year streak of U.S. sales gains. Deliveries rose 1.7% last year to over 242,000 vehicles, although it lost U.S. market share to the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, and Nissan Rogue. Other upgrades include 17-inch aluminum wheels on LT models and new 18-inch aluminum wheels on the top trim LTZ, and a revised center stack with new storage shelf and updated graphic controls. In a related announcement, GM says it plans to invest $450 million to prepare its CAMI assembly plant in Ontario for the next generation Equinox. In our next story, snow, rain, heat, and gloom of night can't stop the nation's mail carriers from completing their appointed rounds, but broken down delivery trucks can. Faced with rising maintenance costs for its aging fleet and needing extra cargo space to satisfy the desire of online shoppers, the U.S. Postal Service is asking automakers to bid on a commercial van that would replace the boxy long-life vehicle and become the backbone of the service's delivery fleet starting in 2018. It could be one of the largest fleet purchases ever. According to specifications released to potential bidders January 20th, the Postal Service would buy 180,000 vehicles at $25,000 to $35,000 apiece, valuing the contract at $4.5 billion to $6.3 billion. Brian Renfro, director of the city delivery at the National Association of Letter Carriers Union, said the so-called next-generation delivery vehicle will offer the Postal Service a chance to outfit its delivery fleet with modern amenities such as backup cameras. The potential for fuel savings may be a key criterion for the Postal Service, whose current fleet consumes as much as 154 million gallons of gasoline annually, as much as all U.S. oil refineries sell in a week. The long-life vehicle now plying postal routes looks like nothing else on the road, and for good reason. It was built not by a traditional automaker, but by an aerospace company, Grumman Corporation, before Grumman was gobbled up by defense giant Northrop. Grumman put a rust-proof aluminum frame on a General Motors chassis and powered it with a 4-cylinder engine from the Chevrolet compact pickup. The truck's right-hand drive configuration allows mail carriers to reach through the window and drop letters into roadside mailboxes and to step straight onto the curb rather than into traffic. But nearly 30 years of heavy use has revealed design flaws. The January 20th document released by the Postal Services listed a number of problems. The sliding doors require frequent repairs. The windshields are prone to leaks, and the sun visors can get too loose to stay in place, and mail falls into small crevices in the driver's cabin. The exhaust system gets damaged from scraping against the curb, and in real-time driving, the truck often falls short of its fuel economy rating of 16 miles per gallon. According to a 2014 report by the Inspector General of the Postal Service, the long-life vehicles still in service cost an average of $3,188 to maintain in fiscal 2013, with 9% of them needing more than $6,000 in upkeep. The agency says it will pick vendors this summer to build prototypes, which will undergo tests in 2016 before a contract is awarded in early 2017. And in our last story, the Automotive Recyclers Association has filed a lawsuit against Takata Corporation, claiming that auto recyclers that wanted to salvage and resell Takata-made airbags will be unable to do so. In its complaint, the association argued that Takata knew as early as 2004 that its airbags were defective, but that the company withheld information about their reliability. Recyclers are not able to sell or trade these airbags because they are valueless, said the association in a February 10th press release. And that in turn means the recyclers overpaid for salvage vehicles that contain the airbags. Michael E. Wilson, the association CEO, declined to estimate the price of a salvage airbag, but he did note that recycled components are typically worth 20 to 90% of the manufacturer's list price. The organization is seeking class action status for its lawsuit, which was filed in U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida. The lawsuit also named a number of automakers as defendants. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways.